in each of these games. What's the series score in your head? Is this one a deep run?
I feel like Falcons have the ability to sweep this series. I think they're the favorite. Wouldn't be surprised to see GENG get a couple, but with the way GENG's playing, seeing them get swept by BDS, and the fact that we haven't really seen much success from them recently. They were one of the world's, they were actually the world's hottest team way back at the beginning of the season, but they have cooled off. In this event, Falcons have been so hot. I think you have to give it to them. I think maybe 4-1 would be fair, or 4-2, but that's really what you would expect so far, given what we've seen.
Certainly, and that crowd behind them will help, but this first 3v3 will be a good barometer for what is in store here in this quarterfinal, a best of 7 in the crew battles format.
And like I had mentioned before, GENG has been able to figure out Falcons on land before. However, that was without Nalpo. Nolly again on the Batmobile as well.
Oh my gosh. I think for GENG, the start of this game is so important, especially if Falcons come out slow. You've got to be controlling the pace of these 3v3s. Because everything feels like it's against them right now. GENG trying to threaten. Broken up by TRK.
Nolly on Respawn's gonna have to defend here. Goes low off the back wall and still is able to get that save. Huge hit from Chronic, who's looking for a challenge. There's a bump on a player on the back line. You can see multiple go for Falcons, but that corner boost won out by Ahmad.
Great defense there from Falcons, trying to turn it into an offensive chance, and they didn't connect TRK to the backboard. It's an easy touch for Nolly. Going off the ceiling, he might have this one. Just enough boost, he does. Unfortunately, no follow, but now Nalpo, can he get to the back wall? He can. Off the ceiling, passing it down, and TRK gets bumped out of the way.
And that was by Nolly. Nolly is really trying to play extra speedy. You saw him make that challenge on the ceiling, also get that bump, land the bump successfully. So Nolly playing quite well so far. Chronic also getting up early on that challenge. TRK in the air with a flip. Goes for a fake, but apparently Jack able to get to that challenge in time. However, it's all aggression from the Falcons. And again, you see a demo come out. Falcons demoing effectively against GENG.
That's 2 in a row on Jack, and that's really diminished the midfield presence for GENG. As Jack has to go back to his own corner. TRK there to dunk. Falcons, they've been spending time here on the orange half. And now the demos are returned by apparently Jack. This one comes off the ceiling. Now he's there. The defense, once again, turning away GENG.
Now possession for GENG. It's a pass to the sidewall, a bit high for Jack. Jack doesn't control it. Low boost for Nolly. Now a shooting opportunity. Bar down and in. Ahmad makes the most of that opportunity.
Across the net as well. Nalpo gets a quality touch to the backboard. You can see Nolly just couldn't get up in time, and look at the placement from Ahmad. Off the crossbar and in. And if you're not marking that back post, you're not going to make that save.
And that happened, that play was able to develop because of the pass that was too hard and too high for Jack to comfortably handle. Wasn't able to handle it, and on that missed touch on the first touch, he gave that opportunity to the Falcons. Falcons making the most of it. Now feeding off that crowd energy. They started hot. GENG were able to keep up a bit, but now will find themselves trailing.
That's why this first game and the first couple minutes are so important for GENG. You can't let the crowd get back into it off of that technical break. But Falcons have found a way. Just over 2 minutes. Ahmad, flip reset, over to Nalpo. Has to beat Nolly, and he goes for the far shot and put it away. Nolly was being chased in net, and Falcons double up.
Surgically done by Nalpo. Look at this. Gets the ball on his hood. Ahmad lead blocking, and the power on the flick. Falcons in control. Less than half the game left to go. Not many chances for GENG. We've seen aggression, demos from Falcons, and now 2 really quality goals. GENG gotta dig themselves out of this. Another chance. Ahmad going for the challenge. He gets bumped off the ball by his own team, but the net was so open it didn't matter.
And where did GENG go? It was just apparently Jack back. Nolly was racing back, but he was well behind the play. Chronic was nowhere to be found. And a 3-0 lead opens up for Falcons with 1:51 left on the clock. A disaster start for GENG.
GENG, they are gonna perhaps already have to press the panic button. Nolly, a few good challenges from Nolly. There's a shot, but it won't test TRK too much. Little tip, gets it by Nolly, and now moving upfield is the Falcons.
They're putting that pressure on. You can see it was a three-man attack there. Physically, off ball, one man on ball, and then the follow-up behind. Falcons shape perfect here. TRK wants the pass. GENG very backed up. They're able to get it out.
Falcons trying to kickstart another attack. A huge pinch. Makes it awkward. Chronic tries to move in. Heavy first touch. Slowed down by TRK at the midfield. Taken over by Jack. Jack into an air dribble. Flip reset 50. Gets by 2. Jack going for the bump. Lands the bump. Chronic will be able to pinch this in. I thought Nolly would be able to finish it off, but that play from Jack paves the way.
Doesn't matter how it goes in, as long as it does, Nolly. He had boost, he just didn't boost into it.
It looked like he was perhaps playing the block on whoever was bumped off the net.
Yeah, Chronic is able to clean it up. And that's exactly what GENG need. Time's against them, 50 seconds left. They're gonna have to pull off something here in game 1, but Falcons trying to not let that happen. Now Bo drops it down, and GENG are able to get the clear.
We saw version 1 have last second heroics. Will GENG be able to do the same? Oh, there's a ground pinch. It sneaks by Chronic. And there's the Falcons goal explosion in its full glory.
Ahmad, great second touch as he came down to the ground, and again, so many gaps on the GENG side. Defensively, they've given the space over to Falcons, even on a shot like that. And with 30 seconds left, I mean, Falcons just have to walk to the finish line here. A rough start for GENG.
I think they're going to be flying, Corelli. It has looked easy, and it's been smooth sailing. Falcons will have another goal here. Wide open net. Now Pau, he's just kicking GENG when they're down.
And every goal matters here for Falcons. It just riles up that crowd, emboldens them here in this series. You can hear them in the background. Falcons are going to ride that wave throughout this series. It's on GENG to be the difference maker. It's not going to happen here in game 1.
Game 1, so in favor of Falcons. Falcons scoring 5. This looks like an early round matchup with how easily Falcons have dealt with GENG in the 3v3.
So GENG sent back to the drawing board, and now they have to choose between a 2v2 and a 1v1. Both will be played here in this series. It's just, which one do you want to play first?
Well, you know, I feel like ones was the one game mode where we were saying maybe it's a coin flip. Maybe.
But TRK, he's had some stellar series throughout their run. You go up against Yan, and while he lost that one, that was a 15-goal game.
And this one almost felt like a 15-goal game.
And he had a 15-goal game against Vatira as well.
And that one was one that he was able to win.
A marathon here for TRK in the ones department, but we'll see what GENG picks. Again, GENG certainly have the weapons on their side with Chronic and apparently Jack. We'll see if they pick ones. It could be 2s all the way, which is a different discussion, I suppose, but for GENG, this pick is very crucial. Finding yourself down 2-0 if they were to lose this next game with the crowd behind Team Falcons is not a pretty spot to be in.
And really, all members of Falcons were playing so well. This is a tough decision that GENG will have to make. The 3v3s went the way for Falcons, and now we see 2s selected by GENG. Apparently, Jack and Chronic take the field.
And so, GENG feels more comfortable going into the 2s as Naupo tries to make his name known instantly here. This one lobbed towards the net, and GENG start under fire immediately here.
Do manage to clear it out strong. TRK forcing Jack off the ball. Jack's gonna air dribble it at the midfield. Flip reset out of boost now. Chronic, awkward, was able to hit it over to the sidewall, but TRK was waiting. Falcons starting this 2s game much like they started the 3s game.
GENG have to be careful here. TRK just ran out of boost as he got to it. Chronic tried to land on top of it. Chronic not moving fast enough, but he is able to push it towards net. Nalpo gets this ball back to TRK with some space, but apparently Jack shuts him down.
That was such a quick jump. Jack pre-jumping that play, reading exactly what TRK wanted to do. And that has allowed GENG to have possession. Chronic is now moving in, pops it up high. Chronic still struggling to find some boost. The corner boost left there nicely. Good communication from GENG. Jack pops it over Nalpo. TRK up on the side. Chronic now taking his shot, but he's demoed off the ball.
Still a tie ball game. This one almost got poked over. Apparently Jack, maybe a little extra power that he wasn't expecting initially. Nalpo wants to go in quick. Oh, he's beaten.
Huge chance
apparently
here.
Jack, he's got TRK in front, doesn't get the bump. Maybe this one turns back around for Falcons. Nalpo tried to play this one slowly, and in the end, it's back into the Falcons' corner.
Crazy reaction time there from TRK, and maybe brought up into the air a bit too early from apparently Jack. You saw as soon as he popped it up, TRK instantly jumped and dodged that bump attempt. Chronic was already upfield trying to get that bump. Maybe it would have been better to leave that ball on the ground. Give Chronic more time to land it. So that was the best scoring chance that we've seen from GENG. They weren't able to capitalize. And now a jump at the midfield. That's going to get up and over Chronic. TRK with the play.
And I'm curious to see this one from Chronic's POV because he pulls off the play and he's completely beat. He's stuck in no man's land. TRK knew it. All he had to do was poke it towards net. And Falcons finally break through. You talked about it earlier, James. There's a lot of pressure coming out from Team Falcons. And finally, GENG give in.
GENG really gonna miss that opportunity. Jack perhaps needing to be a bit more patient. Did so well to get that opportunity in the first place, but TRK so quick to react and then gets the goal. We'll see another wide open goal here. Nalpo walks this one in.
Well, what happened here? Apparently Jack was trying to force it and Chronic doesn't come up with the touch. Punished again. GENG are, and Falcons are happy to take it, just capitalizing on some minor mistakes. And Falcons now up 2-0.
Falcons, they were dominant in threes. They are now looking dominant in the 2v2. GENG, are they running out of options? Are they running out of gas? It seems so. 1v1, Nalpo wants to take this over to the sidewall, doesn't get the mid boost. Will have to back up. Chronic back down to the ground, using up all the boost on that play. Jack takes over, now running on small pads. 1v1 situation, Nalpo over, goes for the shot, and it's in! Chronic was lost, and Nalpo says, hey, let me find this goal.
It's a combination between being over-aggressive and not aggressive enough for Chronic right now. And Falcons are just eliminating him from the play. GENG struggling in these first two games, and while there's 2 minutes left on the clock, it hasn't looked pretty for GENG. Team Falcons, on the other hand, look mighty confident here in game 2.
This is not the same Chronic that we've seen before, but now a 1v1. Jack goes for an early flick, and it's routinely handled by Nalpo. TRK lobs it to the backboard. Jack, hard hit, lovely catch. We'll flick it up to Chronic, double commit from Falcons. This could be good, but Chronic has a very heavy first touch, and it gets away from him. The execution slightly lacking in these moments for GENG.
Feels like GENG have to score here with over a minute left on the clock. Apparently Jack trying to make that happen here as no one's able to follow up. Both are jumping, both are calling off. Apparently Jack will take it, gets one to dive, and TRK still is able to get the tackle. Demo comes out, it's just apparently Jack. Nalpo trying to go up and over, and he'll take this as it just runs time off the clock.
Jack fakes the challenge, has it hit over to Chronic. That is a smart play, but Jack has no boost, tries to wall dash, but to no avail. Now a difficult backward read, Nalpo fakes it, Chronic gets the first save, and precious time ticks away.
A lot of misdirection there from Falcons, and Chronic did well to stay in his spot. There's the bump, TRK denies. Is this a goal for TRK? Wide open net, Chronic can't get back. And a 4-0 lead for Team Falcons.
TRK's reaction time is so fast. We saw it earlier in this game when he jumped immediately when Jack tried to take it airborne. And that play, he knows Jack is going for a bump, sniffs it out so early, dives the lane, and gets a goal for Falcons because of it. TRK and Nalpo, there is no slowing them down. Meanwhile, GENG's tires are spinning in the mud.
This was the choice for GENG. They wanted the 2v2, and it has not panned out here in Game 2. Staring down a shutout here against Team Falcons.
Chronic, he knows that this one is over. Will we see another one? Nalpo across the net. And what was it, 5-1 in the first game, and now a shutout in 2v2s. Falcons are soaring in the series.
They have outscored GENG 9-1 in the first 2 games. And that 1 goal coming in the 3v3. GENG have got to get themselves sorted here, James, or this series is over.
And if you're a GENG fan, it's looking grim. But this game is the swing game. Even though things have not been going well, 1v1s as well. You win the 3s, you win the 1s, you're right back into it. However, what we've seen from Falcons is that they've looked untouchable. The demos, the quick challenges, the execution, they're finding the small windows, they're capitalizing on the mistakes. And on the other side, we've just seen a few uncharacteristic misses from Chronic in this game and GENG as a whole.
And how many mistakes have we seen from Falcons?
It's tough to remember.
I would say none.
There was maybe a double commit that we saw.
Possibly. They were able to recover from it, but for Falcons, the challenge game in their favor. Positioning, boost, both in their favor, especially it was very apparent in that 2v2.
And the misdirection as well, that they were able, they didn't score on their best misdirection play, but it just shows the confidence that they are ready to go for anything. They are keeping GENG on their toes, showing a bunch of different looks, and it has been a brilliant performance so far. Ahmad joins his teammates TRK and Nalpo to see if they can put Falcons on match point. And that is a good kickoff. The corner boost for TRK, back-to-back challenges, but that is a double commit. Ahmad, nice first touch. Gets another touch. You can see how difficult of a touch that is for Ahmad to be able to clear that right at net.
And it felt like GENG really hasn't dealt with this that well. Still possession here for Falcons, but apparently Jack is able to carve it out and GENG get down the field.
One thing that is a bright spot for GENG is apparently Jack has been making some intelligent plays that have generated some opportunities for GENG, but he'll need some help. Somebody needs to step up as well to assist. Nolly off the Batmobile, notably.
I don't mind the Batmobile, but clearly it wasn't working. First minute almost upon us. It's still a scoreless game. That's a good look there for GENG, as these games have had wide margins in the first 2. But you really got to show a threat on offense. Chronic through 1. And a pinch to the Falcons side will advance downfield, but they've lost possession. Ahmad tries to pitch by 1. As GENG are kind of jockeying for positioning here in the midfield, but Falcons again are able to deny them.
You can see how hard GENG is fighting just to try to get some time on ball. Falcons, though, seem to always have a player ready to pounce. There's a demo from Jack, trying to build up some space, and a bump as well. Apparently Jack, Chronic was trying to get the read off the backboard. Nolly was also right there just in case. Jack's bumps were enough to get a look.
Oh, everyone going here from GENG as well. They're sending the house, and still they can't even get a shot on target. And here comes Falcons. Nalpo shot quickly on target. Chronic is able to make the save, and now GENG trying to get out. Nalpo wants the control. Nolly thought he had time to maybe go further across the net. He didn't. GENG under fire, are able to stay above water for the moment. Ahmad's touch comes out to TRK. The bounce is too high. It's off the crossbar as GENG treading here on their defensive side. TRK again will test his luck.
And you can see a double commit on the goal line as well, which was good because Falcons were going for a bump anyway. Falcons are amping up the pressure, shot after shot coming in. Ahmad, first touch, goes up high now off the ceiling, but Chronic reads the play and get some breathing room for GENG.
Scary sequence there for GENG defensively, but Nolly's shot was well off.
We've seen 2 good looks so far for GENG. Apparently Jack has been doing fantastically, getting bumps and throwing Falcons off on the back line, but that final shot, elusive for GENG.
2 minutes left on the clock. Falcons, they've been in control. And now this shot just goes wide. Nalpo had a small opening on the far side. Apparently Jack now wants to take it himself. Monster flick. And that went a little bit too far.
A little too much hot sauce on that one. Apparently Jack may be surprising himself with how much power was on it. There's a corner pass up high. Nalpo 50ing Nolly. Jack, double tap ball, will stay close, and now trying to get a bump. Sipped off to the corner. TRK helping out. GENG looking much more fierce. This is a different GENG than we saw in the first 3v3 game.
They certainly have adapted to Falcons. It's still been scary on the defensive side, but they're looking to generate some opportunity here as some demos come out. Chronic has apparently Jack. He redirected this on target. It was wide. Ahmad had to stretch out near post, and it didn't matter as Chronic, he's trying to push it across, but still, Team Falcons are able to get out.
It looked like if that shot was even on target, Ahmad would have been able to save it. But we're seeing many more attacks. Now a double commit. Nalpo a little awkward.
Pass.
Nolly the drop pass. Where's the shot? Jack a little slow to it. Chronic will turn. Pass to Jack. Jack low corner, but Ahmad's there again.
The placement was good. It was just Ahmad who chose the spot before Jack, and it was shot directly at him. Some good offense, though, from GENG. They need more of that here in the final 30 seconds.
GENG has been the aggressor. They've had the chances. They've got Falcons reeling, and there's the shot, and it's good! Posted in, Nolly is popping off!
Wow, huge pop-off from Nolly as well. Literally in his chair, screaming at the other side. And that's a shot to remember. Top right off the post. And GENG, they've got 21 seconds to hang on.
Falcons slowed down a bit. GENG speeding up. Another chance. Ahmad dodges the bump from Jack, but there is a demo. Chronic was taken out. Nolly trying to stay behind the ball. Wants to get a 50 here. TRK. Critical position, and he gives up the ball, and that is going to secure the game for GENG.
It was not easy for GENG here, but they are able to go up by 2 in the final 3 seconds. It would take a miracle for Falcons to come back, and again, it was not pretty at the beginning of this game. They felt a lot of pressure from Falcons, but they're able to cut out 2 goals here and keep Falcons at bay as well, James. We saw a lot of control come out from Team Falcons, and they just weren't able to execute.
That is true. Falcons, they had a bit of control, but honestly, looking back on the game, Corelli, we saw GENG, they had way more chances. They bounced back. They had multiple looks. Even before, we saw Jack getting some bumps. Chronic was, and Nolly weren't able to convert on the space that he created, but it was a much different threes game than we saw the first go around.
Well, James, you know what this means.
What does it mean, Corelli?
We get a 1v1. And I don't know who GENG picked. I mean, obviously you're assuming you're gonna get TRK.
Yes, I think we will see that. I think we will see TRK versus Chronic. But Chronic has not been looking as good. We saw him struggle a bit with positioning and execution in the 2v2 game. Slow start in the 3v3. Will we see an audible with Jack, who I feel like has been playing very solid. You can tell mentally he is not missing a beat.
Yeah.
Nolly hit that last shot, but I think Jack has been playing the most confident out of any player on the field.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I do think it would probably be AppJack and TRK here, unless there's a matchup thing that we don't know about. But a 1v1
and Jack did tell me in the elevator. He said that it's Chronic. We're gonna leave it, and
Okay.
it is Chronic indeed, going up against TRK. Big swing game here for GENG.
A lot of pressure here on Chronic. And TRK, as we said before, a couple of his games have gone 8-7 twice in a row.
Oh, and the ceiling pitch is saved,
Oh, it's
and
high.
it's sent high from Chronic. TRK jumped so early on that challenge, you're thinking, oh, this is gonna go in, and then Chronic hits the ceiling pinch. Somehow TRK saves it, but those are always scored on the rebound, surely. But Chronic sent it high.
One left on the table there from Chronic, and he goes to the sky again. TRK knew that was a fake all the way, and now Chronic will have an opportunity to go up the wall. TRK, he picked up full boost as well. One flip reset. Looking for an extra touch. Gotta get the dunk here, and TRK, great defense to push him back.
It is inspiring how well TRK is playing defensively. You're seeing Chronic with space, you see him go airborne, and you're thinking, how is TRK gonna get out of this hard spot? But he does, and now TRK's turn on offense. Early flip reset, and it's gonna be a goal!
That's twice now you've seen the pre-jump come out from Chronic, and he really likes to float there. You can see how long he was in the air, waiting for TRK to choose what he wanted to do. To his credit, he almost got the save, but TRK better with the flip reset, and he scores the first goal.
And better with the pre-jumps as well. Chronic has had a few chances now, and will have one again. TRK will have to defend from the air, goes off the ceiling, now coming down, closing off the angle. TRK defensively is so amazing to watch, but this could be a goal. Chronic has to get up and over the ball. The shot is gonna be good. Chronic ties it up.
You know, Chronic really likes that aerial type gameplay, James. That's why TRK has to step up his defense, but when it's given to him like this, he ain't gonna miss. Puts it on target, on the open net, tie ball game.
TRK, very good defense so far. Chronic won that 50. Will he be able, though, to break down TRK, who's been pre-jumping everything? Chronic now defending. TRK with some possession will take it all the way back to his own corner. Will he stay in the air? Yes, he will. The touch sets up the flip reset, saving the flip, and now stealing the boost. A quarter of a take for Chronic, picks up another small pad, another quality 50, and TRK will deny the mid, but Chronic gets the corner.
Chronic really stretching out for the boost there. He knew he had a little extra time, but that turn had to be perfect. Now he's stressing for possession,
50.
but a tackle will set up the open net for Chronic.
Chronic happy to take these 50s. He's not been able to beat TRK in those 1v1s in the air, but on the 50, Chronic he's surpassing TRK at the moment.
Great challenge there from Chronic. Gets himself back into the lead. This one, James, already hotly contested, as TRK just wants to buy some time so he can go pick up the boost. Here's Chronic on the dribble. TRK goes quickly, and he might be rewarded with a goal. It's wide open. Easy challenge there for TRK.
The reaction time is stunning from TRK. He sees Chronic just take a brief moment too long and instantly jumps on it.
I mean, he knew that Chronic was going to take his time there, called him out.
And it was because of that touch straight up in the air off the kickoff that set him up to be able to get that challenge.
So, two's piece, TRK trying to go up by one, forcing it through. Chronic could do nothing about it.
What are you gonna do here? TRK hand breaking into position, knows he's got this space. That low 50, deadly. He just gotta win that ball forward, and TRK, he's the one with the initiative.
We've seen that a couple times. TRK's tried to force that off an air dribble as well. It didn't go in his favor.
Oh, kickoff goal though for Chronic. Chronic, he is relying heavily on his 50s, and so far it's working. Didn't even flip into that, and it proved to be the right call.
And that's a great read from Chronic, knowing the kickoff that was coming from TRK in a cheeky way to get your equalizer. We'll see what the kickoff is here. Looks to be pretty standard. And actually, it's just a free kickoff goal for TRK, so the favor is returned.
TRK getting one of his own. Chronic trying to side flip there. TRK getting the best of him. We've seen a lot more looks from Chronic. We've seen the wave dash kickoff, no jump that time. It did not work out for him. See what happens here. Looked like another wave dash kickoff, and it did land the bump. Catches it out of boost, though, and will decide to take the corner instead of staying on the play. Will it pay off?
Oh, TRK in such a hard spot here. Had to read the fakes from Chronic. Chronic holding the boost game right now. TRK can pick up some pads. And he really got himself out of a tough spot there.
Chronic decided not to try to lift that ball up into the air, and TRK was able to jump in, but is that an overcommit? It looks like it. Chronic sends it towards net and ties up the game.
Great work again from Chronic. This time allowing TRK to rush into the challenge, and he stays put. Takes the challenge, the ball will pop up off your car when the attack or the defender goes high. And Chronic knew that, so great work to find an equalizer yet again. Back and forth here, James.
Yeah, Chronic seems less interested in going to the air now that we've seen the defense from TRK, and now a corner boost steal. Chronic was inching up. He's gonna have to use a single pad. Now picks up another low challenge from TRK. And that low challenge, he comes out on top once more.
And that's what happens when you don't have momentum going into this. Chronic had one pad of boost, flipped into it. And TRK again baits out the challenge, takes it low, and TRK back into the lead.
It started out as a battle in the sky, and now it's a war in the trenches. TRK and Chronic fighting down low and dirty. TRK might take it to the air now. Chronic jumps quickly, and the 50 sends it out to the corner. TRK up the wall. Flip reset. Jumped on it by Chronic. TRK decides to get the mid boost and gets the demo on Chronic, and will have full possession.
Great demo there from TRK. And look at the space that he's earned himself. Chronic trying to take it up, but now he's backwards. TRK, fake flick, and he'll just go back. This Chronic did well to deny.
Chronic trying to close the gap, and now will win the ball back. TRK hunting for a demo. Chronic will have to be careful. Chronic gets demoed off the ball, and even more time melting off the clock now.
TRK doesn't have to score. He doesn't have to force it. You can see a Chronic now. He has to get a little bit more aggressive. TRK's happy to go back to his side. I'm surprised he didn't even take it back to his corner. Here comes Chronic, full boost. TRK went through. He's gonna try and get his corner boost. Double tap looming as Chronic couldn't put it away. TRK is able to get back.
Yeah, Chronic was trying to capitalize on that overcommit and go to net as quickly as possible. Tried to double tap that ball in, but TRK was back quick enough. Time running out. TRK's shot is gonna go wide. This is the last potential possession for Chronic.
20 boost, a couple pads.
And there's the fake flick, and he flips by it, and that will be game. TRK clutches up.
TRK says round him up. Bring him on home. TRK has been stellar in the ones.
And you can hear the crowd chanting, TRK. TRK stepping up in that game. It was a battle. Chronic discovering that the air was closed, takes it to the ground, wins 50 after 50. Frustrating goals to give up, but the defense from TRK was stupendous.
I think a lot of people might call that game boring because it was, especially that ones game, boring because you felt a lot of challenges happening on the ground. But that's kind of the beautiful thing about 1v1. It's reading your opponent, and TRK got the better of Chronic here.
And he made the adjustments. You saw how crucial the demos were in TRK's game plans. Also, going to the low 50s, finding success, mixing it up. TRK stepping up. You saw him looking up, staring down his competition. He is feeling confident. Falcons now sitting on match point.
And James, you said that this was a possibility, a chance for Falcons to really steamroll through GENG. And while it was pretty close throughout that once match, TRK felt like he was in control. So we go back to threes. And a last life here for GENG.
There's an early save. GENG, they got beat down in the first two games. The first threes game, pretty ugly, but then in that second threes game, they started to make things work. Jack was getting aggressive, landing bumps, creating space. We saw passing come out from GENG. It looked like they started to figure things out. They'll need to win this here, otherwise their journey is over. Back pass from Chronic to Nolly. Nolly, hard hit off the backboard. Great read from Nalpo to make sure there's no follow-up, and a huge clear as well.
Sends GENG back to the drawing board. Apparently Jack can use all of his boost to try to get to this backboard, but an easy touch and control from Ahmad. He gave it up to Nolly. As Chronic takes his first foray into the Falcons side as it pops out to Ahmad again. Falcons now on the attack. Ahmad wants to take it himself, doesn't get the flick. And Nolly pushes Falcons back.
Doesn't land the hit on the ball, but will get a ball out center. It could be a scoring chance, but it bounces off apparently Jack. And now it's going the other way. Ahmad over to Napo. Napo is stopped by Chronic.
Good little passing play from Falcons, just didn't have enough pace behind it. Now a huge flick up to Jack,
who had pre-jumped.
He knew it was coming, but just couldn't get the touch. TRK will be happy to throw this one downfield.
Chronic trying to catch it on the back wall and does so nicely. Lead blocker from apparently Jack lands a demo. Chronic not able to get the 50, but Nolly now has the ball. Pinch rolls up the wall. Nalpo dodging the bump and now forcing it by. This is going to be a wide open net for Ahmad.
What a dunk from Nalpo. Takes it to the sky, beats the first man, but then the dunk to keep it going. Ahmad there to follow up. And Falcons a well-earned first goal.
Falcons. They started hot, and they might end hot as well. Nalpo defensively leading the counterattack, generating that goal with Ahmad. GENG, they feel the sides closing in. Their vision starting to blur. TRK not able to put one more in.
It really is scary for GENG. As we talked about earlier in the series, especially during game one, you got the crowd going against you. Everything that Falcons does is great, but this is not great from Falcons. The back post was open, and apparently Jack finds the equalizer.
And Nalpo going up on that 50 from Chronic. Ahmad just doesn't make contact on that ball. If Ahmad is able to hit that to the corner, that play fizzles out, but Ahmad driving right by the ball, left it in a vulnerable spot. That's going to be an easy goal for GENG. So GENG have some hope now that there's a bump. Nolly streaking back to cover. And now Nolly with a chance for a solo play. Goes for an air dribble bump, lands it, and it's an awkward ball. It just bounces in.
And another pop off from Nolly. You thought this one was broken up enough that it wasn't going to trickle in. But Ahmad gets bumped out of the way. TRK can't get a read on the play in time, and it bounces in top right.
Well, you saw the trail change to blue. That means the defender got just enough of it to make it an awkward read. And yeah, you know, I wonder if all of the booing and the crowd opposition to Nolly has actually hyped him up.
Oh, I'm sure it has. I mean, you can see it in the camera as well. Every time he's scoring, he's popping off with his team, and GENG have found a way into the lead.
Jack trying to bump TRK off the ball. Chronic, good speed. Ahmad hoping to control it. Really well done by Ahmad to stay behind it. However, loses the ball there. Nalpo going for an upfield pass. It gets by Jack and hits off the post. And it's picked up by Nalpo. Apparently, Jack, we have to see what happened here.
It just went over. It just didn't connect. He couldn't get up in time. And Nolly trying to pick up the slack, but Nalpo finally able to put it away for Falcons, and GENG blunders there defensively, allows Team Falcons to crawl back.
Slight miscalculation from Jack, thinking that he had enough boost and enough time to get to that ball. It sailed over his head, and now the lead is given up. Falcons want to end this here and now, but GENG has shown their prowess in threes. Jack up near the ceiling. Now back to the corner, pass over, double commit from Falcons. Can Nolly control this ball quickly? Shoots right away, but it was at the heart of the defense.
Yeah, it was a poor shot there from Nolly. Apparently Jack trying to dunk it through. Chronic gonna pick his time to go, and Nolly happy to pick this one up as everyone from Falcons was committed defensively. Apparently Jack doesn't get the touch on target. And GENG, they've been knocking on the door here, ramping up, flip reset, and TRK is able to make the clear.
Chronic did use his flip for a wave dash bump in net, trying to prevent Falcons from breaking out. Nalpo going for a ground pinch, or a 50 rather, and it does win over to the side.
Oh my.
A miss from Nolly. Is that gonna be a goal? It is a disastrous mistake from GENG.
Instantly punished. Nolly not getting that touch, and you can see what happens. It throws off apparently Jack. He thought Nolly was gonna get it, so he could cheat to the boost. But when he does it, the back post is exposed. And Falcons, 59 seconds left to close out this series.
Not the cleanest defensive plays from GENG. Now a drop pass that will be saved. However, we've seen, oh, hold on a second, Chronic doesn't get the first touch he's looking for, and also missing out on that boost steal. But Corelli, GENG are gonna be kicking themselves. We saw the miss from Jack, we saw the miss from Nolly, and now they're trailing by 1, and they only have seconds remaining in the game.
Some of the mistakes have been disappointing from GENG, but you got 30 seconds left. You have to push. You have to get it all out of your mind here. This could be the attack, as apparently Jack can't hang on. Chronic, pass, over to Nolly, back to Chronic. Chronic shots on target, but Ahmad read it all the way.
And there's another infield pass, but it's 15 all the way back. Jack being juggled, and there's a pinch goal! TRK with an impossible angle, and he gets another goal for Falcons.
He's rumbling and stumbling downfield. He had apparently Jack landing on top. He had to make the play to secure Game 5. Falcons marching to victory now.
TRK won the 1v1, but we're seeing Chronic now, though, refuse to give up.
Hold on.
And things getting a bit more interesting. It looked like this game was done and dusted, but with that kickoff goal, there's now a chance for GENG.
A great touch there from Nolly. He had a defender in his face. To get that one out without a touch on it was quality. Let's see what the kickoff is. It goes to apparently Jack, but he can't catch up to it, and he missed the boost. 4 seconds left. GENG trying to find a way out. Oh, they have to have the long clear. Here comes Nolly, but Falcons looking to deny. Apparently Jack, he can't get under it. Falcons take down GENG in dominant fashion.
And you can see the look on Jack's face when he wasn't able to keep that ball up.
Chanting as they took the stage, and they've watched their team take down North America.
Team Falcons, can they get further than they went before? They're in the semifinals. Will they get to the grand finals? And to talk about it, we've got Stacks on the main stage.
We're here now with Ahmad and the victorious team Falcons. First of all, congratulations on the win. You have this whole arena behind you. How does that feel on the stage? What do you see? What do you hear?
صراحة لولا الله ثم الجمهور كان ما سوينا اللي سويناه وجهدهم يعني الكثير.
We just asked Ahmed about what it feels like to be on stage, and the main thing that he wanted to say is that if it wasn't for the audience being on stage here, we wouldn't have done what we just did. So we are very grateful to just have them here, be with us in the arena.
Your first event with Nopo, talk about the preparation, getting him ready for this series and this tournament on such short notice.
نوبو بتواجده معكم في أول مرة يجون معكم في البطولة. نوبو الآن يعتبر شيء جديد بالفريق، ما في سينرجي بينكم كثيرة، لكن وقدرتوا انكم توصلون للمرحلة هذه مع نوبو. فوش رايك في الراستر الجديد الآن، وقد ايش انتم جاهزين، وكيف جهزتوا أصلا للبطولة مع نوبو؟
صراحة بدينا بفترة وجيزة، لكن كل جيم نلعبه نتطور أكثر، فهذا الشيء الكويس.
Ahmed is saying that even though he just joined the team and we're still working on the synergy, but we're very impressed on the progress that we have made, and it's just going to get better from now on.
Another player who's made a lot of progress, TRK. It's hard to imagine how he could be better this year than he was last, but talk about his maturity and how clutch he has become for you guys.
ترك الآن في الفترة الأخيرة قاعدين دائما نركز على الأداء حقه، قاعد يتطور بشكل جدا كبير، وهو يعتبر هو الأكثر واحد يقدر يسوي كلتشز معنا في البطولة. لكن الآن السؤال هو يعني حدثنا عن أدائه وتطوره خصوصا في المباريات اللي احنا شاهدناها في جيمر 8.
صراحة أداء ترك أسطوري وكلنا واثقين فيه إنه بيسوي اللي عليه.
He's saying that TRK is one of the best players that we have in the team, and we're always relying on him to give good results.
Our next series coming up, BDS and Furia. Of course, you're very familiar with both of these squads. Who do you see taking the win in our next series?
Furia.
He's saying Furia. I think that was obvious, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Very man of very few words, but a deadly player on the pitch. Falcons are through. They're into the semifinals. Desk, back to you.
فالكونز الآن توجهوا على طول إلى نصف النهائي. أعزائنا المشاهدين المباراة القادمة بتكون ما بين فريقين فيوريا وبي اس. الفائز منهم راح يقابل فالكونز في نصف النهائي، فخلونا نشوف شو ممكن يصير مع بقية المباريات إن شاء الله راح نشهدها في بقية اليوم. على طول نروح للاستوديو تحليل نتكلم أكثر وش ممكن يصير.